In today's video, I am going to show you the method that we use to launch ultra high DR links for our brands and our client brands. It's simple, it's straightforward, it's effective, and best of all, it could be free. You only have to pay with your time and your expertise. And of course, I am talking about doing outreach to journalists, specifically doing outreach to journalists within platforms that are designed for that purpose, where journalists put out a request for help, for information, for a piece that they're working on, and you go there, you create a profile, you serve them that information as a subject matter expert, and hopefully your answer, your contribution will get picked up. And when they publish the piece on God knows what publication, but really big ones sometimes, then you'll be featured and you get a link back to your website. So this is what you are going to learn, and also what you are not going to learn in this video. First of all, this is what you are not going to learn in this video. I am not going to show you how to register on these platforms. That's way too basic and easy. I'm not going to show you how to send pitches there. It's way too easy and too simple, you'll see. And I'm not going to show you how to automate the whole thing with ChatGPT so you can contribute to the further distraction of the platforms. I am going to show you, however, how to effectively do this kind of normally known as HADO link building or journalist outreach, journalistic link building. I am going to show you the differences between this and what's considered to be digital PR, because yes, this is a form of PR, but it's so specific that it really differs from how everyone is doing digital PR. What platforms to use that actually get results, that actually have good opportunities out there, because there's a ton out there. Some of them are trash, some of them are great. What's common pitfalls do I see whenever we see campaigns doing there? Because there's so many options, very many ways to mess it up and lose an insane amount of time. What kind of results can you expect, and how to best integrate this approach of link building into an all-encompassing campaign that accounts for all the methods of link building, when to use each, and how to best do it so you can get amazing results. Let's dive in. There's platforms online such as Help Report It Out, which is now being absorbed by Cision and rebranded into Connectively, where journalists or people doing a research piece will put a request for help by industry experts like yourself, and they say, hey, I'm working on a piece about XYZ and I need help about this data point. And if you're able to give them that, you shall be quoted as a source of information. Let me show you the backend of Connectively so you see how that looks like. So this is Connectively, also known as HADO. And here you see, for instance, Super Money is looking for real estate agents and real estate economists. And then you can hit this query and see exactly what it is that they need, what should you be ending, what kind of questions to answer, and then you can send your pitch and answer these questions. And if your profile has credibility, which is I'm going to enter into the details on how to make this work, because it's not suitable for every site, it's not suitable for every client and every person, then hey, you might get picked up and be featured in Super Money. Very good stuff, right? There's details to each one of these platforms. Each one of them has a different limit on the amount of pitches that you can send, different ways to do it better. I'll cover that in a more executional tactical video. This is a video for you to know the holistic approach so that you can choose whether to do this kind of link building or a different kind of link building, what to expect from it, how to best incorporate it in a successful link building campaign. This is a video for strategy. For tactics, I'll do a different one. This is the main difference between this and digital PR. Now, in what's traditionally known as digital PR for the purposes of SEO, which is how most people are doing digital PR now anyway, you normally put together some sort of primary research, an asset. Journalists love statistics, magazines love statistics. So you will work something out like that. And then you find the journalists somewhere, typically LinkedIn, or you'll have to have the emails, right? It requires some research work, and then you send them your stuff in hopes that they will like it and they will pick the piece of news that you've generated, right? You are the source for that, and they will feature it on whatever publications they are affiliated with. Normally journalists might work for more than one publication, right? It has some, of course, very clear advantages where you can get loads of links if that piece happens to be very timely, right? The main disadvantage is you have to do an insane amount of work beforehand. For help a reporter out type of link building, when you support journalists on their ongoing existing work, you're not generating a new source of work for a piece, you're working on the piece that they're working on. It's very straightforward. It's based typically on a platform. There's no need to create an asset. The query is out there. All you do is you respond. The main caveat is, while you can do digital PR for a brand that doesn't really exist, right? For a persona that doesn't really exist, right? For as long as you have just a bit of credibility and the piece that you put together is amazing. This is the most important one. For digital PR to be successful, is a lot more out of how good and how timely the piece that you put together is. And then you can be a relatively unknown person for as long as your site looks like you're real. That's fine, right? A lot of outlets will pick it up for as long as it's not a fake AI persona. For Haro or any other sites that I will show you in a minute, it hinges a bit more on your persona being trustworthy, because you're answering a query. So if I ask like, hey, what are the most successful link building techniques out there, you will want the person to be ideally a seasoned link builder, or somebody that runs a link building agency that has years of history and a track record and has spoken in conferences. You will want that to be the person that answers your query. So when you click on the person pitching you the answer, you will want to make sure that your source is trusted, because they could be saying anything, versus when I submit you a paper that has all the data points and tons of sources and everything that says, and this brand new person that's an incoming contender to XYZ game with no track record is built that research. Like, well, great job, mate. That's how digital PR works. For Haro, you need a bit more brand. All right, so let me show you some of the most popular platforms that we use where we get the best links. Of course, you have Connectively. This is the home of Haro. After the rebrand, is the single best known platform. This is how it looks on the inside. As you can see, and you will see this as a common trend on all these platforms, is a bit of a mess in the sense of, I've filled in my profile. I say that I'm an expert in marketing, search engine optimization, and business. And even with that, you have all sorts of queries, navigating purpose with precision, okay, IT risk assessment, cloud versus local data storage, right? Now, however, there's some really good websites like CNET, which somehow looks for height supplements and organic ways of growing taller. Sounds like a parasite type of piece, but hey, it's CNET. So an advantage in some platforms is you can see who you will be pitching to, right? Go banking rates. Okay, cool. SESO, realtor.com. If I'm in the real estate industry, I 100% want to get this link from realtor.com, right? But if I'm in the real estate industry, how many related queries are here? I'll have to search, right? So it takes a lot of combing through, and then you see what's specifically being asked, and you're like, oh, okay, this really doesn't have anything to do with what I do. It will take a lot of creativity sometimes to tie what's being asked to what you're actually capable of answering. So one of the main disadvantages, and I'll get a bit ahead of myself in this video, is that it's quite time consuming. Now, this is featured.com. Love Featured, got really good results from it. This is how it looks from the inside, and you can see GoDaddy, HubSpot, Inc.com. This is no small players. This is some of the best links you can get, right? So for myself, imagine I'm in the world of SEO. Hey, should I pitch this piece here for GoDaddy that looking, beyond search engine rankings? What else is a good way of measuring SEO success? Okay, I can do. Going again into some other sources, you have SourceBottle, more of the same, slightly uglier back end, and here you will see wilder type of requests, which is good as a way of complementing the other ones. Okay, so like what was the one that I just saw here? Hey, did you break up with someone right before your wedding? Very specific type of request, and it doesn't reveal where it's for. It's a major lifestyle print magazine, so you might get an insanely good link, but you need a very freaking specific story to tell here, right? Primary school kids who play a lot of sports. Okay, very, very specific. So obscure queries, this is a good platform where to go. PR Newswire, also another Session product, just a different platform, Profnet. Okay, same. different type of requests, different type of brands you're gonna get. Macrack, very interesting. You get a lot of really big brands. I'm not gonna open the backend for all of them, it's a bit boring. A lot of insanely big brands, very clean backend. I like. Quoted, another one that is very similar to Connectively, where you also gonna get some other potential placements. Sometimes you will see the same pitch in multiple places. Worthwhile to pitch in multiple places. You get seen a bit more, is more effort. But this is the main summary. Don't marry any of these platforms. Don't put all your hopes in one single platform. Understand that in order to execute this effectively, you need to be in a bunch of places. There is other places, pro access only, I'm afraid, such as private Slack communities, private WhatsApp groups, and even some circles in LinkedIn, where these kind of pitches for very specific industries get put up and they don't appear here. So if I'm in SEO, there's certain groups for SEOs where I know somebody working on an industry leading piece might put up their request, and then I can pitch in directly, and that will never reach these platforms. Okay, so what are the main benefits, the main things that you're gonna gain from doing this? Number one, you get access to insanely high DR sites that normally you would not be able to get into unless you know somebody within the publication directly. So if you do a lot of good connections within LinkedIn, you might be able to open yourself some opportunities that way, but it takes a lot more grinding and a lot more grit and a lot more of personal connection. Whereas through these platforms, you might just see the request out there, you go and you collaborate, and therefore you get these DR90 links. So it's a combination of high DR and hard to reach places. Another good thing about this is you actually do get a very varied amount of links. You will get a bunch of do follow links, a bunch of no follow links, which some of you might hate the idea, but I will take a no follow link from Entrepreneur any day of the week, particularly if all it takes me is to answer a handful of questions within a platform that I can send in a few minutes. Then you also get a very wide scope of DR ranges. Typically you get high DR links most of the time, but you will get some like DR5 links, some DR10 links. You're like, why isn't this supposed to be only for big outlets? Wrong. So you need to adjust your expectations accordingly. Sometimes there will be somebody that's starting a brand new site on the travel space, let's say, just to give an example, that's looking for somebody to collaborate on a piece on the most, off the beaten path in Peru, and you go and you collaborate, and it turns out it's a DR5 website. That's the way it goes. So one of the ways to avoid that, which is going to come now into the pitfalls, is to know how to tell a bad pitch or a bad pitch request from a good one. Now, the other main thing, the other main advantage of doing this kind of link building is you're going to get a lot of branded links pointing to the homepage, which is the best combination between high DR and a branded anchor text pointing to the homepage for trust. So this kind of link building approach is great to build trust on your brand, to get connected to seed sites. If you don't know what a seed website is, it's fundamentally some of the sites that are closer to the source of what Google considers to be trusted and veritable organizations. This has been revealed on the Google Algo Leak. If you haven't watched the video, it'll be somewhere up there. Go and watch it. And it's a very good way to get the brand moving forward with the right foot if you only just starting. There is some big caveats, some big disadvantages, things that this type of link building approach will not get you. So let's get into that. So like we said, if what you need is homepage links with brand anchors to get your brand moving forward, congratulations, this is the right approach for you. If you are looking to rank inner pages, like a service page or like a collections page, if you run an e-commerce, it's almost impossible to get links to those pages because it doesn't meet the nature of what this method does, right? Of what you're actually offering as information. For that, it's much better to continue doing good old-fashioned guest posts and link insertions because you have a lot more control on the page where that link is going to be pointing to. Also, if you need to deliver in a certain timeline because you're doing this for clients, you need to really adjust the expectations. And if you're doing this internally and you promise your marketing manager that you were going to land them 10 links within the next 30 days, you might see yourself struggling. Normally, it will take 3 up to 4 weeks of constant pitches before you see the very first links ever pouring in. And sometimes you might pitch for 3 months straight and only get 1 or 2 links. It depends massively on the kind of queries that are available, on how open-minded you are. So let's say you're only gonna pitch queries that have to do with health because you're a health website, and within health, you're only gonna do it for anything that has to do with natural remedies. There might not be enough. Right? But if you're open to do anything that has to do with yourself as the author or the persona, the people behind the business, you will get a lot of links from good publications. Still, it's a slow approach. You won't see a lot of links within the first couple of months doing it, and it's a lot of pitches for fewer links. A bit different from other methods where you can send a lot of pitches and get a lot of links and have more control. So the main problems or the main pitfalls that this method has is this should not be your only link source. You should be getting links from Haro because they're extremely powerful kind of links and they will get results. I will show you some results that we just got recently for a client in the automotive B2B space. But you need to complement that with other link sources, either bigger time digital PR or of course guest posts and link insets, plus citations, etc., etc. A good healthy backlink profile is like a diet. It includes a lot of good healthy stuff. So if you only get in these kind of links, you will build a lot of trust, a lot of branded signals. That's great, but you will struggle to rank your inner pages that need dedicated link building, especially if you're in a competitive space. So know how to balance the whole power, trust, authority ratio, and you will do well. Another big challenge is it's very, very, very time consuming. So if the person within your team, either yourself or somebody else, has a very high hourly rate and that's the person assigned to do this, you might find yourself wasting money versus outsourcing this outright. Getting these kind of links is worthwhile. You will get amazing links, but you need to make the math internally. Like if I'm going to spend 100 hours doing pitches because I need to find a lot of different platforms, and I'm doing this myself, and I'm the business owner, and my hourly rate is, well, how much is the revenue, how much is the business making, and how much am I working every single week, and how much am I contributing? And then let me go and trying to do this, 3 or 4 hours on Saturdays to see if I get some links, and that might help my organic. Listen, it's going to be a painful road for you. If you have your CMO do this directly, it's also not going to be good, right? So either you manage to put together a system based on videos like this and the more tactical ones that I will make and the SOPs that I will share, and have that effectively delegated within your team and have a lot of stringent quality control, so you don't pitch to a lot of garbage sites, because that will be a waste of time, which is the next problem, right? Or outsource it to an agency. Okay, we do this nice and easy. If you're curious to learn more, there's a link on the description box to book a call with us and we can discuss this. A problem that you will see is also a lot of irrelevant requests. So like you need to come through a sea of questionable requests, and also from sites, like I said before, this looks great. And then you do the pitch and you get a yes and you get excited and it's a DR5, right? Also, like I said, it's not suitable for ranking random e-commerce pages. So specifically if you're in e-commerce, this is good to establish the brand name. It's good to get, some soft digital PR done. But for your collections pages, which are the ones that are going to drive all the sales, where SEO will really become your next big love, you still want to stick with guest posts and link insets for those pages. Okay, so here are some results that we got over the last year for this client in the B2B automotive space. That's all I can share. Unfortunately, we've been doing pitches for months, since October last year. The team behind our operation has been very diligently every single week coming through queries, sending pitches, negotiating with journalists in the different ways that they want data provided, how many backup sources they want, how many data points they want to back up the claims that we are doing in behalf of the client, blah 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 blah. And we managed to secure them 78 links that has had an insane result for their business. Mind you, as you can see here, right, we started in October last year, so it's about this point here. They were already ranking for a lot of temps already within the industry, but they were barely pulling any traffic in comparison. So you can see all this growth in keywords and traffic is mostly a combination of them publishing more content, of course, and some really good links. What they were mostly missing was that trust signal. They already had a lot of links, as you can see here. They built a lot of links, some to the homepage and some to internal pages, but they were missing that extra layer of trust. And so when the March algorithm update, I have a video about the update at the top in case you missed what the update was about, kicked in, the client was poised to be in a fantastic place, and all those branded signals and trusted sources that were linking to them had a fantastic effect on their SEO. So in summary, Helper reported out how Connectively, all these different platforms could be an amazing source of links for your business that could completely change your SEO if you know how to use it, how to tell a good page from a bad page, if you know how to do this as a holistic approach for your link building efforts and not rely on it single-handedly, and if you know how to delegate it effectively either within your team or to a trusted agency. You can get amazing results for yourself. And if you want to get results like this, keep watching the following videos with more tactical approaches on how to do this, or get in touch with us and we'll do it for you. Thank you very much and happy rankings. Cheers.